time for everybody's favorite segment.
Oh,
It's
what's that?
barely news.
We need like a. It's barely
Yeah,
news.
some kind of graphic or
Kind of
something
a
that
thing.
pops in.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a
Whatever
little
those are called.
jingle. All right.
Well, that's it. That was it
First
right
up.
there.
Yeah.
I just did it.
First up, we've got a plane that's edible, or at least partially edible.
I mean, if you believe rice cakes are food.
That's true. Uh, with edible styrofoam is what this plane comes with. Yeah, so basically, this is kind of interesting. This was like a project that some guys did. I'm not sure how practical this is, but it's kind of interesting. They were trying to combine food with drones or vehicles, and this one they created a plane with rice cakes, so you could fly it to someone who's stranded. You could find them, and at the same time, you could give them food.
That's the
Yeah,
no, no.
I don't think this is very practical, but it is something I've never seen before.
They 100% came up with that idea after they were sitting around. Somebody was like, "What if we made a drone where like you could eat the wings?" And then they ran with it. And then later they had to justify it to their faculty advisor, and they were like, "Oh, it's about rescuing people." But okay, clever. It's cute.
Yeah. Also, hope you don't fly through a flock of birds.
Or the rain.
Or the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it does seem a little. Yeah. All right.
I would be
up.
way more positive. This is cute. This is clever, but it involves rice cakes, and rice cakes are awful. So I'm gonna be down on it. That's what tips the balance for me.
Rice cakes though are probably the most similar to foam that you would build
I mean,
a plane
obviously,
with, right?
Build me a plane where the wings are made of sausages and fly it to an island where there are some stranded dogs and crash the plane so the dogs eat the sausages and the GoPro captures the whole thing. Million views.
Fair enough.
Build me a plane out of rice cakes? No, 0 views.
All right.
Okay.
Next up, drones will walk your dogs with GPS. So if you really just don't aren't worried about the interaction of your dog with people or anything like that, you can now walk your dog with a drone. So
what? Okay.
This company is selling a product called ProFlight Walkies dog drones, which have a built-in retractable leash, hand-free piloting, and runs at an auto altitude. So just above the dog.
There's so much. Okay, the website doesn't exist. I clicked on the website. It doesn't exist. It just goes to Drones Direct. So I'm not convinced that this is a product you can actually buy. There's so much that's wrong with this.
Well, like $2,300.
That's just a... Listen, I don't know about you, but my dog... When I have my dog on the leash, and this is my fault as an owner that there are no bad dogs, there are only bad owners. I believe that. He's at the end of the leash, tugging and pulling every moment of the walk, trying to run, to smell or sniff or pee on something. And if I were to try to walk him with a drone, here's what it would look like. Boop, 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 boop. Well, the drone just sort of falls, the dog just drags it around the yard. Like,
absolutely.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you have a well-trained dog that will follow the drone. All right. Now, are you going to just send the drone out onto the city streets? Is it going to like crash into people? He set
a GPS coordinate and it follows the GPS route.
Okay. So if I live on like a big empty field or in the desert, then I can like walk my dog into the middle of the desert. Oh, here it is, Blenty. You set a GPS coordinate. The drone walks your dog out to the middle of the desert. Then the drone shuts down. Now your dog is lost. Now you use another drone to find the dog and bring it food. Yeah. Now we're getting there.
There you go. Okay.
Next.
All right. Next up. This is kind of an interesting application. We've talked before about many different versions of drone light shows. We talked last week about Candy Crush, who's doing a drone light show for advertising. This week, We've got Sky Elements drones who decided to send this guy on a date with a girl who was actually wasn't there to date him, and instead showed a picture of his face in the sky in drones in the middle of his city, and then put his phone number up and said he needed a date.
Okay. Do we want to show the money shot? Okay. That's cute. It looked better before they zoomed in when it was all blurry. Kind of blurred it into an image of his face. I don't think you should put your phone number above a city. I think that's you're going to get a lot of
Oh, he did.
phone calls.
Oh, he did.
Is this legit? Did this really happen? Or is this
It seems legit. I don't know. It seems legit. I mean, they did a lot of faking. If so, they played a bunch of voicemails from people, and I don't know. It's very possible it's fake, but
so he basically did but she agreed to have the date with him.
It's a fake lady.
Who was
They hired
pranking
her.
who?
The rest of the people from the drone company hired her and said she was from Tinder, but she wasn't from Tinder.
So
She
they
was from,
used this guy in their advertising.
Yes.
They
Yes.
hired an actress, and they
the whole
said, "Go
video
on."
was the whole video was about how bad he is at getting dates. He can never get dates. He's horrible at Tinder. They tried to get him dates before.
His friends were in on this.
Yes.
I see. So his friends hired this person to catfish him, and
Pretty
then
much.
instead of going out
And
with
he-
him,
Yes.
they did a drone show where
Yes.
they put his number above the city.
Yes.
I'm not really following. Is this what's the intended outcome of this?
To get him a
Does
bunch
she-
of dates, which according to the voicemail, a bunch of
I
people
see.
were like, "That's interesting enough for me to go out with you." So,
I see. So then women in the city saw the Kyle needs a date and called the number,
yes.
or men, or whoever. I'm not trying to judge. Why didn't they just hire the drone company to put his number above? Why did they have to do the whole thing with the catfishing woman?
Well, because they wanted they didn't want him to know. I mean, it was supposed to be like a prank instead of just like a, hey, here's a way to get you dates. It's supposed to be like a sort of a.
So he thought he was going on a date,
Yeah.
and instead he gets to where the date is going to be, and in the sky is his phone number.
Yeah, this is no longer. It's barely news at this point.
I feel like I'm missing some component where this becomes entertaining or funny. I don't know. I'm not following it. Did he get a date?
Yeah, he got like 1,800 phone calls or something. He got like
That's
some
too
ridiculous amount
many.
of phone calls. They were
I mean,
his
I guess.
voicemail filled up in like 3 minutes or something.
They should have put his Tinder handle.
Yeah.
Right? That would have
don't
been.
know.
Then he could have just been like swipe, swipe, swipe,
Can
swipe,
you-
swipe, swipe, swipe,
Is,
swipe.
okay. Is that how Tinder works? I don't think that's how Tinder
don't-
works. Is it?
Isn't Tinder the swiping one?
Yeah, but I don't think you can like type somebody's name in and pull them up. I could be wrong.
You really think you ought to be able
I think
to
it's
do
all
that.
organic, right?
I don't know. I'm not on Tinder. I'm a happily married something or other. Also, when I went on Tinder, nobody swiped me. So
Yeah. All right.
okay, let's never talk about that again.
Last up, we've got a drone show mishap. Before we've talked about drones falling in the out of the sky from a show, and they blamed it on a bunch of drones in the area, FPV drones. This time, they didn't really have much to blame it on. They just said shit went bad, basically. They were doing a 500 drone show in Perth, Australia, Sunday night, City of Lights. And 50 of the display's 500 drones encountered difficulty, and they fell into the water below.
No,
he said
get back
they're-
in there.
He said they're around $2,000 a drone, so he lost about $100,000 in the water. They sent divers out trying to collect as many as they could afterwards.
I mean, for $2,000, sure, hire a diver.
Yeah, I guess it's $100,000 AUD, 66,000 US. But yeah, it's interesting though. Some of the information he said was kind of surprised me a little bit. He said if there's any wind interference, drones do hit each other. That does happen. Propeller snap. There are things that go wrong. 2 or 3 drones falling per show is normal. Last night was not normal.
$6,000
kinda-
show is normal. Wow.
I thought that was
they probably
interesting.
don't.
That
Yeah.
Out of 500 drones, you're expecting to lose 3, like, fall out of the air. So that's I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I guess they usually don't fall in the river, though. They would fall potentially on the ground. Maybe you get them back.
Yeah. Depends where you're at, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, cost of doing business, I suppose.
Yes,
Cost
yes,
of
it
doing
is.
business.